This is Ann Powers. Welcome to my windshield survey of Everett, Washington. This is the Snohomish River, which borders the eastern side of Everett. Comes out of the Cascade Mountains, and back in the old days they used to float logs down this river. You can see the lumber mill in the background. This is another angle of the Snohomish River. It's quite beautiful. And it was the center of commerce initially. We're turning now on the main drag of Everett. This is Bethany Christian Assembly. There's 55 churches in Everett City. Beige house to your left, worth $786,000. Seems exorbitant. Most of these houses were... In a minute for a quick side note, the homeless population is pretty sizable around here. And one of the major reasons is because the housing prices are absolutely astronomical, period. That's a ridiculous price for a house of that age. Coming down Everett Avenue in the Riverside neighborhood, there's QFC in the background and McDonald's. It's urban. There are the beginnings of the county buildings and the courthouse. This beautiful building here is the Everett High School, one of them. On the left, Our Lady of Hope Catholic Church and a school. And straight ahead is the Puget Sound. Shortly we'll run into the naval base. It's a quiet Sunday morning, so you're not getting a flavor of our overwhelming traffic. Here you get a pretty good look at the Navy complex. There's a fair amount of shipping that goes in and out of here. I don't have a good sense of how much that goes to the naval base and how much of that is commercial. This area here is pretty much all controlled by the naval base, which is this whole complex you're looking at. As we head north, we've got the Puget Sound and the Navy base on our left, and of course the train tracks and the ability to move all this merchandise on the right, heading into North Everett. We'll be heading into the northernmost part of Everett shortly, where the Snohomish River meets the Puget Sound. We'll be looking at American Legion Memorial Park. It's the biggest park. Heading south now, we'll run into a branch of Washington State University, and we will also run into Everett Community College on the other side of the street. There's also the Department of Social Health Services coming up in front of us. Starbucks, of course, and then ahead is Volunteers of America, which is one of the largest outreach organizations in the Pacific Northwest. They handle everything. Heading now down 13th Avenue, this is Providence Everett Regional Medical Center, Level 2 Trauma Hospital. They recently built a giant addition onto this, so it's about 10 years old, what you're looking at on the left. There's a huge cancer institute. About 630 beds, which are not all full. Crime-wise, this area is mediocre. On your left, you'll see the Community Public Health Clinic. That's one of like 13 branches in Everett. It's a quiet Sunday morning with not much traffic. And shortly, we see our crime problem rear its ugly head, and our homeless problem rear its ugly head. With a patient belongings bag from the hospital right there. A couple homeless outside the hospital. A lot of them are pretty old like this. Now driving south from where we started. They like to shut these streets down on the weekends and do fairs and live entertainment for the community. This is called the Federal Building, built in 1917. Now houses Chicago title. Heading further south in Everett. Still with the water to the right. Heading south on Rucker Avenue, which is one of the main north-south drags in Everett. We're just about at the north-south halfway point. There's some outpatient clinics on either side of the street here. Everett Clinic has outreach right here. Houses in this area are between $500 and $1 million, and they're nothing special. They're older, they're not well kept. Pot is legal in Washington State. Down here you'll see our little section of Hispanic food. Got the food truck, taco truck coming up. I like this upcoming shot because I got the Punjabi restaurant right next to the Hispanic restaurant. Also close by the Italian place. Now we're on 526, the highway to Boeing and Painfield. We actually have an airport in Everett now. We've gotten big enough. Boeing is the largest employer in Snohomish County, certainly the largest employer in Everett. Driving around it takes at least a half an hour. It is the largest building by volume in the United States.
Boeing's own daycare.
Is that again?
Coming up on the right is the static test jig for the first 777X. Here's a bunch of tools that are either about to be scrapped or just being stored somewhere because there's nowhere else to put them. A bunch of workstand tools here. Oh, and some transportation tools. Axes.
Is the Boeing Everett site, heralded as having the largest manufacturing building in the world, producing the 747, 767, and 777 and 787 airplanes. 35,000 people work here. That's a third of the population of Everett. This is a Sunday morning, so we're not dealing with traffic, but normally this road is at a standstill at about 5:45 a.m. and there's nowhere. Heading south again on Evergreen Highway, which is what Rucker turns into as you continue south. Sunday morning, nobody's really panhandling today, but definitely homeless people are everywhere you go. Coming up shortly is a famous area called Tweakerville, which has been on the news multiple times. It gets cleared out periodically up by the Everett Gospel Mission, and there's a webcam up there, a security camera right there, that films this all the time, and you can just sit and watch people on meth, people doing drug deals. This is the Everett Gospel Mission right here. That's where this community lives usually. Up to the middle of Everett again. We're looking at Everett Station. This is the major transportation hub. All the buses, all the different agencies come here, as well as Amtrak, Greyhound, And you can get just about anywhere you want to go from here. This is Everett Public Works. These are our water people. This is the big Kaiser Permanente outpatient clinics and urgent care. And then coming up on the right is the cheapest animal vaccine and get your pet fixed clinic. Everybody uses these guys. And here we are back close to the Snohomish River. These are a bunch of the older buildings that have been here since there was Everett. And this is the river again. And we're done.